Hello and welcome to Dysfunctional Dialogue. I am John McParland, and this here with me is John McParland, my son. John, welcome to the program. Would you rather have eyes that can film everything or ears that can record everything?
Eyes that can film it or ears that can record everything.
I mean, we just talked about eyes that can film everything. It says can film everything. It's not being forced to be posted, broadcasted.
Yeah,
Your
because
preference for your own use: eyes film everything or ears record everything.
uh, you know, if you were to ask me, John, would you rather lose your sense of sight or your sense of hearing? Throughout my life, I've thought about this, and like 100 times out of 100, I would say I'd rather lose my sense of hearing than my sense of sight.
Right.
But this is kind of making me rethink that because I would definitely rather have perfect recall for my hearing than for my sight. A
John, it's a
hundred times
really
out of
good point. I never
yeah.
looked at it that way, and I would have said the same thing. 100 out of 100 times, I would have picked not losing sight over not
Mm.
losing hearing,
Isn't that
but
curious? Sound
yeah.
is just such a human thing, isn't it? It's language. It's really
Well,
what it comes down
going
to.
back to what before when I was talking about how, like, I live for these interactions. I
Right.
love conversational humor, conversations, deep thinking conversations for that matter.
Yeah.
To lose that, to not be able to hear that, that sounds
All the emotions
terrible.
associated with it. Oh my
Oh,
god.
my heart
Yeah.
breaks. My heart breaks for folks. I mean, my
Oh
heart
my
breaks
god.
for you lose any sense, frankly. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, to all of you
wow.
deaf people listening to this right now, I'm sorry.
That will happen. Some kind of bad joke or something like that.
I guess it was. Yeah, let's cut
Yeah.
that one out.
No, that's not it's going away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just, oh,
Yeah, I know, I know.
oh.
The thing is, if you just knew it wasn't meant to be an amazing joke, you just kept on going with it, wouldn't have been that bad. But then you hit me with the, "Oh, look at this guy."
I couldn't help
Everyone,
myself, John.
you're the dialogue just then. You're like, "Everyone, you're my David Attenborough." "Tom made a bad
See,
joke, everyone. Uh-oh.
see, now I
Uh-oh."
gotta leave it in. Now I gotta leave it in. That's terrible. Damn! What'd you do there? I have to leave it. There's no way I'm cutting that out now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
there's no doubt it's and
whatever.
I often found out to be the case that you could say something that and this happens to me all the time with your mom, John. I could say something
Right,
that
right.
you already know I'm going with this.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could say
Wh
I
when
could say
mom when
something
mom
that
was like when mom was like, "Oh, that was a good joke, John." Uh, or I think the way you're gonna go actually is you're gonna say, because there's 2 different ways that you could go.
God,
You're gonna say when mom doesn't understand the joke at first and
now
then
that's
roast the joke afterwards.
yeah, sorry, that's another point. So it always
Okay.
bothers me when someone tells a joke and the other person doesn't understand the joke at first, and then they realize what the joke was and say, that's not a funny joke."
Right.
If you don't get it right away, you've lost momentum and it's all gone,
You've
right?
lost the right to say that.
You've
You
lost the
can't
right to say that.
criticize. You
That's
can't
what I've said
criticize.
before. You've lost the right to say that. Exactly right. Um, but the other thing was if I say something that I know that my audience um, would laugh with me, so if I say something that's generally considered tasteless, right? But I know
Right.
that in the moment it kind of fits. So I throw it in there and it would completely be glazed over and funny and fine, but then your mom will come in and say, "Oh, that's terrible. Don't say that." And now all of a
Yeah,
sudden
yeah,
it's,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh,
Right, right.
oh, you just sucked all the wind out of everything and you made me look like an ass." I'm trying
Right.
to have fun here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
some comments are meant to just be tasteless and it's
Yeah,
just
and
you
I
just
kinda
can't
do
think
that to
about it
you with
that
the
much.
and I didn't even mean
Right.
to, right? When you made the joke about the hearing, it took me, I was aghast that you would even say something
Right.
like that. It's so out of character for you,
It's
frankly. It
so
really
dumb.
is.
It's just a silly
Yeah,
silly
it's just
little
a silly.
statement.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you talk to a blind person. It's actually kinda interesting, like, I've never spoken to a fully blind person. I don't think ever in my life.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've only heard them speak. But the point that I was gonna make was like they seem to be living great lives, you know?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
disability doesn't
Difficulties
really.
for sure. There's gonna be challenges.
Of course, because you know, it's a world made for people, but
Right.
it's not like, "Oh, there's all these things to be all these woes," you know? You know, I kinda
Well, it's
feel like it's
easier
one of
now
those.
than it was just a couple decades ago.
That's for
Easier.
sure, but
It's less a little less difficult, I should say. It's
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess it's the same thing for a deaf person too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't really know where I was going with that one, to be honest.
That's okay. It's both of us.
Yeah, yeah. But for the perfect catalog, definitely. Definitely hearing. That's an easy choice.
All
It
right.
would be great to have perfect recall for hearing. That'd be really
A
awesome.
perfect recall for hearing would be spectacular.
Yeah.
To be able to go back and listen to everything. Yeah, I don't need to
Right.
see everything again. I would love to hear everything again, but I would also like to have very good editing software to go with that I'm
Right,
recording.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that would be really special. I mean, I just think about all of the conversations, again, going back to the conversations that I've had over my life with all these funny people that I've known and interesting and, deep thoughts and all that other stuff. And I would just love to be able to have that. I would
Mm.
love it. I would love it. Not
Oh
just the
my
little
god, yeah.
fragments that are left with us, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that this is all still coming back, but like I mentioned in the beginning of the call, how I was looking back at these audio recordings. I was like, there was one audio recording where I swear it was like I didn't even know it was recording. It was just like a completely random
Hmm.
set of events. I was hanging out with this really good friend from high school. The two of us just like said a little bit of nothing. Then he was like, "You want to go to 7-Eleven?" I like commented on the bikes that we were riding and we just biked over to 7-Eleven. And it was just like this little moment in time. It's
Right.
just,
And it wasn't anything
I'm
poignant.
so
It wasn't
happy that that was recorded.
right. It's just a little something between
Right.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that we don't have more of that. I mean, your
Right.
mom asked me after I had that podcast with my brother Jim, with Pete, with Joe and Steve, and she goes, "Do you have any pictures of all of you together?" I don't. I don't
Right.
have any.
Right.
Not even a
Yeah.
picture. Not
Remember?
even one picture.
Oh, it's
Sucks.
such a shame. It's such a
Yeah.
shame. Remember when we were at Aunt Carmela's farm and I set up my phone to do
Yeah, I
like a
just saw
picture
that.
once every 30
I just
seconds or whatever?
John, I just flipped through that just last night. I literally just looked at it
The
just last
photos
night.
from that?
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
video from that, right? I
Yeah,
sent
the
the video
video. It
over,
was,
right?
the time lapse.
Yeah, yeah, the time lapse, yeah. The hyperlapse. Yeah, just having that, you know? So you could see your surroundings. Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
picking photos, oh my god, like, imagine how much fun it would be to just, like, select a random photo from your life. Just,
Right,
like,
to be able to just a snapshot, just one
snapshot.
snapshot of one
Yeah,
moment here and
right,
there.
right, right. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah, that'd be
awesome, it would be so
cool.
awesome.
That would be
Yeah.
cool. What would you pick?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Uh,
Because there's so many things, right? I mean, where do
yeah,
you
there's so
start?
many things to consider.
I would want a lot of those.
Yeah.
Again, but now you're talking about recording visually as opposed to recording audibly.
Mm. Yeah, but nah,
Still audibly.
it's missing the best element.
It's
You know,
missing
I
the best
actually
element.
here's another thing. I found these other videos where I was, like, talking to the camera, like, recording some thoughts or something like that, and the audio wasn't recorded, and I was like, "Ah, this is garbage." It's just such a shame. I felt like
Oh, yeah.
it was, uh, memory lost. Sad. So,
Yeah.
there's the evidence right there. It is 100% of the time it's gonna be audio.
Yeah, I think
'Cause
so
when you have
too.
the visuals, you're just like, "What are you doing there?"
Yeah, because with the audio, it helps you bring your visuals back that much more.
Right.
You'll be able to remember that, but you won't be if you have the visual, you're not gonna be able to hear
Yeah.
what's being said specifically. You might have a sense of what some of the the tenor is of the voices and that kind of stuff, but
Mm.
you're just not gonna get that detail. That's the more valuable detail. All right. Would you rather would you rather have more time or more money? See, now this is interesting. So you're in your 20s. I just hit 60.
It's time 100% of the time.
It
And is
is.
I'm assuming that this is like a healthy time. I'm not gonna be like a fucking vegetable or something like that. If that's
That's
the case, it's time 100% of the time.
yes.
I mean, it's a reasonable point to make, right?
It is a reasonable point.
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
You're making me wanna say one of my tasteless jokes here because that's just terrible. Oh my god, that's terrible. But yeah, that's no doubt about it. That is, yeah, a
right.
healthy you, more time.
Yeah, then 100% of the time,
Now,
it's
having
gonna be
said
time.
that,
Yeah, just a moment. You
okay.
you ask any wealthy person who's achieved, someone who's achieved wealth, they're gonna tell you the one thing I can't get is more time. I envy you in your youth. That's what
Now,
they say, like, all the time.
conversely, what if you're so spit poor on the street, things are you might be healthy, but, you know, you're just
The
so
only time I would find that
downtrodden.
regrettable is if my lack of wealth led to the poor conditions of other people. That's the only time I would find that regrettable. If if I'm just, like, poor and I'm forced to a life of asceticism, like, I'm forced to live as, like, a monk, that's how it would end up being, then, I'll take that in stride. But,
It's not even much a monk though. I mean, you're literally destitute. At least with a monk, you'll be in a monastery and you have some kind of care, some kind of settings
well,
around you.
your destitute only would last until you find a community of individuals who are in the same situation as you, right? Like, there's homeless communities out there where people can support one another in a little bit.
So it's just your contention that you would never trade any time for any money?
Um, uh, as
Alright, let me
no.
rephrase this. Let me rephrase
W
this.
Oh, I could answer that as you
Okay,
as you spoke it.
alright.
And it's exactly as I said before, the only time when I would regret not having had more money is when my money could have helped someone else. For example, like, this is sad, like, it's a really sad thing, but, like, say, like, my child needed some, like, life-saving surgery and I couldn't pay for it, I would trade the remainder of my life for that surgery
It's
to
a
happen,
great
right?
example. Yeah.
But if I'm the only one
I
in
wouldn't,
this
Joe John, I
situation.
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I would trade some of my own time for my own plastic surgery. Give me a defined jawline, please. Actually, trade my kids' time. Better off. We're better off like that. But yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, like, there's all these, like
That's dark, man. It's so
no,
dark.
but like I was saying before, like, there's these great minds throughout history that have, like, done exactly that. Like, they've traded wealth for a life of, like, at least periodic wandering where, they're not chasing idols in any way, in any capacity.
Yeah.
The reality of the situation is you have just as much, or in some cases, even more opportunity for true happiness and fulfillment when you take money out of the question. So,
Potentially. You
potentially,
still need sustenance. You gotta be able to sustain. You need something to
right?
sustain. And
It
you
all
kinda
depends
know
on your
know
worldview,
my s
really, because that's
you
not
know my
entirely true.
situation on what's that?
I just said it all depends on your worldview because it's not entirely
It
true. There are people who truly, with 100% of their body, believe that the soul is this immutable thing that would continue on past death.
okay,
So what? It
sure.
wears clothes for a moment. So what? Those clothes don't have sustenance. They wear and they fall off
Okay.
the
No,
body.
that's reasonable. There are those. And you know my position on this. I mean, I literally I wasn't gonna be spending tons of time away from you guys to make money.
100%.
right?
Right.
Family first. I mean,
Family
that was
first.
it's everything,
Family
you
first.
know?
Yeah,
Again,
definitely. I
going back,
mean,
that's why I wouldn't take out my 5 loved ones. That's
right.
just not gonna happen.
There's a point where money becomes like you're stroking your own ego, you
Mm,
know? Like you had enough money to raise a family healthily, and that's all that was required.
mm,
If you went out and you were trying to like make irresponsible bets to get more money, then that's all that is reckless.
yeah.
You know? There's wiseness in that mode of living. Wisdom.
This is too much functional dialogue. We gotta get that "dis" in front of this thing here.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna release it. Have a little change of pace. A little A/B testing. Let's see how they like
I
it.
actually just said that to my cousin Bill. He had made a comment on Facebook about the podcast, and it sounded like he was busting my chops, but he really was just being. He said, "Yeah, it's all about the content," and I said, "Well, of course it can't be about the host." And he goes, "No, no, no. I really I was just saying how much I really enjoy the show. You know, Bill and I are always joking around." And I said to Bill, I'm like, "Yeah, Bill, I really appreciate it. And really, it is all about my guests because I've had some of the best, funny, you know, sharp-witted, great people on my show. And, you know, for a change of pace, Bill, maybe you could be a guest one time. You know, let's break away, John.
Yeah, how long of
We have
hour
been going a while.
18?
There's a lot of stuff here that I'm gonna be cutting out, though. I really got to get some silly in there.
Well,
Um,
yeah,
but
like I was
there's good
saying
stuff.
I mean, you could put out a philosophical you're equally talented in your philosophical conversational abilities as you are
Oh,
in your
great. You've
humorous.
added the dis. Now it's dysfunctional dialogue by you saying that. Okay, good, very good. Add the little humor there at the end. Much appreciated.
N Yeah, I mean, yeah, but of course, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
honestly
messing with
can't tell if you misinterpreted me.
See,
Are you
that's
just
one of
making
my
fun of
problems.
yourself? I
Sometimes
honest
people
to God,
can't
I can't tell.
sometimes people can't tell when I'm being sincere or being sarcastic. That actually was one of the other questions at one point. But no, I was playing around and I definitely appreciate and understand what you're saying. And
Yeah, yeah.
I do indeed appreciate a deep philosophical conversation. Love it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get some food.
Bye, buddy.
Alright, see ya.
Thanks, John. That was fun.